Why the sax? I mean, what actually initially attracted you to the sax?
Funny story, actually. I learnt clarinet in high school, and one year my mum decided that I should probably get some lessons. And she rang a guy from the School of Music and organised a lesson, and he came home, and I was first home from school. I answered the door, just here, and he rocked up with a white linen flared suit, wooden clogs, huge spiked hair, and some aviators, and a clarinet in his hand. And I answered the door in my tracky dacks, and I was like, whoa. He said, hey man, you want to play some jazz? Came in straight away, just sat down at the piano and played Stevie Wonder for about half an hour. And from that moment, I thought, I'm in. I want this. I want to be this guy. And it was only about, I think, probably another 8 months. I still got clarinet lessons, and then he suggested that maybe I switch to saxophone, and he still taught me saxophone, and then from there it was a sort of logical sequence to the School of Music and this, that and the other, and expanding my saxophone collection. But yeah, it started with a guy in a white linen flared suit.
Well, she's been really nice, we all knew met tonight. You don't think she thinks I'm into it, I'm not into it, nothing wrong with it. I can't work out what you're trying to say. Oi, sono molto stanco, troppo fino bianco. Non parlo italiano, andiamo a letto. Un bella fisico. You say, what does that mean? What's that about me? Well, then who's it who out? And what's it who out? Oh, it's about time you move your feet, move your feet, move your feet. Move your arm, move your feet, move your feet. Move your feet right up to mine. Just one more time, I move your feet, move your feet. Move your arm, move your feet, move your feet. Move your feet on top of mine. Just one more time.
I'm hoping that it continues. As everyone's aware, we've had a couple of... We started as 7 people who went to school together at ANU, and over the last couple of years there's been a couple of lineup changes on different instruments, and now it's really just the 3 original members left, myself, Ruben Lewis on trumpet, and Beth Monzo, and I think Ruben's got plans to move overseas next year as well. So if it's just... Beth's pretty keen to keep it going, and I'm sure she'll have the motivation to be able to do it. It just is going to mean a lot more work for her, rather than being spread between the other members. But, you know, she loves it, and I'm sure she'll continue, and who knows where I'll be in a year. Maybe if I come back I'll slot back in. But the original trombonist is actually coming back from Europe this year, and I think she plans to rejoin. So, you know, a lot of members coming and going, but I think as long as Beth's there and one of the core members, I think it'll have room to grow.
It's my time you move your feet, move your feet, move your feet. Move your arm, move your feet, move your feet. Move your feet right up to mine. Just one more time. Move your feet, move your feet. Move your arm, move your feet, move your feet. Move your feet under mine. Move your feet right up to mine. Move your feet under mine. Just one more time. Thanks so much for having us.
I guess I'm pretty excited getting this scholarship to just study gamelan. It's kind of like an orchestra in a sense, when you think of, I guess, the Western orchestra with different instruments, and it's all generally metallic instruments, lots of xylophones and huge gongs, and it's all sort of controlled by the drummer. I guess in a similar way to a lot of the music we play in the Western sense, but the time is a lot more fluid, and everyone has to just go with the drummer, who will change tempo, you know, every couple of seconds, going faster and slower. So it's a lot more fluid in terms of the tempo rising and falling. In terms of the pitches as well, they're quite different to the Western tempered scale on the piano. So there's, to a lot of ears, it sort of sounds very harsh because it's sort of those quarter tones in between notes that we're just not adjusted to. But once you get used to it, it's actually beautiful. this is the opportunity, I think, in my life to sort of change and move somewhere else, and kind of feel like I've been in Canberra for a while and need to branch out and get some more experiences and more influences. So just the idea of not having to, because it's all expenses paid and I get an allowance, not having to work for a year and purely play music is probably the most exciting thing. So mostly gamelan, but I'm sure there'll be some opportunities to get out my sax and do some playing. There's a big reggae scene where I'm going to, and sort of like the music underground capital of Indonesia, which is be pretty exciting. And I'll be the token white saxophone player in town. I mean, who wouldn't want me?